Hi everyone, how's everyone doing? I'm doing pretty good today. And I think it's gonna be my first video on my channel, I should say. And I don't really have an intro right now, so just bear with me a little bit. But today, we're just gonna get right into it. We're gonna be talking about when a school nurse ripped off my scab from my knee. Like, legit. So I was probably around like 7 to 10, kind of that age range. So it was elementary school. And I had already like a scab on my knee or whatever from just like riding a bike, like people get scabs, whatever. And it happens a lot at this age too, because you're just like doing whatever the hell, with absolutely no like intuition for what's safe or what's not, You're just like doing things, having fun. So I had a scab on my knee and I go to school. And I don't know how long I had the scab. It like doesn't really matter, but it was like pretty decently like scabbed over. Like it was like probably in the middle healing process, I guess you could say. And me and the girls, we were like in elementary school. I had like a girlfriend group. We would always like to play on like there are always like these like poles where you can like hang, but you can also like swing on them. They're like monkey bars, but they just kind of like stand there. And we'd always try to like do tricks or like do cool things. So we were like swinging on the smaller one because we were pretty tiny, honestly. We couldn't reach the taller one. But we were on like the smaller one, and we were swinging and seeing how like far we could get. And I was a pretty tall kid even for back then. Like I was always like the tallest in my class. Just keep that in mind. That's very like crucial to the story. So we're swinging on it. I think I'm like second or third in line. And we're like hanging, and we're hanging like from the top. So I'm like holding the bar and we're like hanging all the way down. And I can't even like swing with like my full legs. Like I have to like have my knees. So imagine this is like my knee. I have like my foot like out here like swinging. That was such a weird visual. And when I go to do it, I like scrape the absolute fucking hell out of my knee. Oh my gosh. And not only that, like it was school sand. Like we were in like a sand pit. So it was like school sand, and school sand is not anything's off. Like it's so grainy, it's rocky. And if you go like deep enough or like some spots, it's like literally like just a rock. And I definitely went low enough that like I hit the rock part too. And blood was gushing like literally everywhere. I don't know how to emphasize that, but like I've, been around like medical scenes like older in my life or whatever. It was a lot of blood. It was a lot of blood. Not just on my knee, but it was all the way down my leg. Like all the way down. My big ass cocks. Look how big my freaking feet are. It was going all the way down my leg, and sand just mixed in everywhere, and it was bleeding like profusely. So me and my friends are freaking out, obviously. So we're like literally 10, or 7. We were really young, actually. We were pretty freaking young. And they like rushed me over to the teacher, and then the teacher's freaking out, and she's like rushing me inside to like the school nurse or whatever. It was all happening like really fast because like, again, it was like so much blood. And like, I don't know about schools. They're not trying to get a lawsuit, from like parents or whatever. My parents aren't like super crazy like that, but like, they're trying to avoid it at all costs. So like all hands on deck, So I go into the school nurse's office, and she's like, getting a little frantic, like grabbing everything. And she's just kind of like putting shit on there. Like, I don't even know, like, necessarily if she cleaned it or anything, but she was literally just like piling all this shit on here. Just bandages, gauze, and like, flip arounds just to like get the bleeding stopped. And then the principal comes in, and he starts like putting all this shit on it too. And pretty much once, like, I don't even know, like, they didn't even really do anything. They pretty much had everything on there, wrapped it up, and then they, like, sent me on my merry way. I think they did, like, wipe off the blood, I think, on the rest of my leg. I think. I'm not entirely sure. But definitely, like, nothing was being, like, cleaned or, like, wiped off. Like, it was not, like, anything, that you would see in, like, a normal professional setting. It was just like, wrap it up and go back to class. And I'm like, okay, So I, like, went back to class or whatever. I was like fine. And then a couple days later, like we start like removing the bandages or whatever, and like all the gauze that they had put like on the wound or the scab, the gash, I don't know what you'd call it. They had like sunken in and like it scabbed over the gauze. So like you have like these like little ends on the sides and it's like the gauze and like the rest is just scab. So I like go back to the nurse's office or whatever, like the next day, whatever, this was so long ago, but like, I went like the next day and I was like, hey, like, this is like scabbed over, like, I can't have like a gauze like in my knee or whatever. I don't know. However, a 10-year-old would explain that to an adult. And she got like this gel. I don't even know what it was, but she was just going like between the gauze, like underneath it, and just like ripping, like literally just like ripping as she goes. Like, oh my gosh, it was so painful. Like, as a kid, like, I think it was probably the most pain I've been in, like, as a kid, because she's literally just like ripping it and it's not fully healed. Like, it's not ready to be, like, what do you call it? I don't know what you'd call it when, like, scabs, they like flake off. Like, it wasn't even like near that. Like, it was like a couple days after like I ripped off the scab. And so I'm in this pain and I'm like crying like profusely. Like I like really did not have the best pain tolerance as a kid. And she kept like taking breaks between like going between that. And then she just showed me like the oil or what, the lotion. I don't know what it was. And she kept saying, look, it says no pain. It says no pain. Oh my god, it literally hurt so bad. Like, literally just like ripping your skin off. It like hurt so bad. And she kept going around it. And like, when I like was crying, like she just kept going harder because she's like, oh my god, like I don't want to deal with this kid. I remember at one point too, like she got like like you need to calm down, like pretty much to me. And I was like, like she kept getting like when I kept saying like, oh my gosh, like I'm in pain, like um she did like that thing at first where she's like, oh, like this is no pain, like you should be fine. She started getting like more annoyed and like kind of angry, like, oh, I have to deal with this kid. And I'm like, this is your mistake. Why'd you put gauze all in my scabs and they've grown into them? Like that's not my fault. I'm not a medical professional. I'm a 10-year-old, And so basically, I mean, she's just like doing all that shit, And then she finally gets it off. And I should also say that, like, I pretty much, like, stopped, like, making any noise because, like, she was, like, getting so annoyed with me. Like, I, like, stopped making noise entirely. I was just like, oh my god, just, like, literally, when's it gonna end? And when I was thinking on this moment, I remember specifically it was the principal who was putting all those gauze right on the wound. And oh my god, I was just like, why is the principal helping you? Like, you're like the nurse. Like, he's not trained to do anything like that. He's just like packing shit on, but like, you probably should know what he's packing on, But yeah, and then it had to heal for a third time or whatever. Which, it's fine. It's fine. It's nothing like, but I can definitely still see the scar. It's probably like my longest lasting scar. Here, let me. It's like right here. It was like, it's right where they like hit the hammer on your knee to like test your reflexes. See, I'm not. Let me sit in my chair and do it. Do you want to see some reflex action? Oh shit! Yeah, so it's like that. That's really all that I had to say on that. I don't think there's really like a moral to the story. It's just like, this is my water, by the way. um, I don't know. Just like, listen to kids. Like, why are you being like so mean that I'm like, I wasn't even mad that like the gauze happened, but I started getting like really upset when I'm like, damn, she's not even listening to me, and I'm in like so much pain, you know? But it does make me a little more upset as an adult because it's like, if you're not a medical professional, you're not supposed to like do anything that you're not trained to do, you know? But things were different back then. It was like mid 2000s, latter 2000s. So it's like, you know, stuff like that would happen. So it's not, you know, no anger, animosity, or hate to any of these people. They're just, you know, honestly, the nurse, like, why are you working with kids? I don't understand people who like work with kids and they like don't they don't vibe with kids, they're not good with kids, they think kids are stupid. Like, kids are smart. Oh my gosh, I love talking to like my younger cousins and stuff. Like, they have so much to say. It's so interesting, like seeing how like young people view the world, especially with like how things have changed with like social media and stuff. Oh yeah, it was chill. It healed up. Like, not bad. My teacher said it'd look really cool because it like scarred, and like literally even when it scarred it looked stupid. Like, it didn't, it looked goofy. Like, I had like a goofy knee. Little goober. Yeah, but anyways, I hope you'll have a great day. This was fun to film. I enjoyed telling this. And yeah, let me know if y'all have any crazy like childhood stories, or like post videos on them, you know. Get it out there. But yeah, I hope y'all have a good one. Bye.